engaging sessions over the 2 days. A very good evening to all the esteemed delegates from the regulatory bodies, from the academia, and my friends from the corporate sector. As introduced, I am Sumit Jalan. I am the director from 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 Institute of Education, and also happen to be an alumni from IIM Ahmedabad 2011 batch. So, talking about our organization, 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐧 is a full-stack service provider for internationalization activities as envisaged under the NEP 2020 guidelines, right? So, I know we would have heard about internationalization, some in detail, some in partially. We'll discuss more about it. But before we move on, I would like to thank 𝐂𝐤𝐺𝐧 and Shubhaji for organizing this event. It has been really an enriching experience for me, especially coming from a non-technical background. I've really learned a lot. And secondly, thankful for them for a second reason, that is accepting that Global Immersion Programs, GIP, which is a part of overall internationalization activities, that how important it can be to foster internationalization and bring about institutional excellence for all HEIs in our country. Right. So let's move on. Next slide, please. Right. So as per the guidelines set and the components of internationalization, which we have on the one hand, which includes student and faculty exchanges, credit transfer mechanisms, twinning joint and dual degree programs, which a lot of HEIs are doing. Then we have international student admissions and Office of International Relations. So all these components come under the internationalization guidelines, and HEIs have been following this, maybe partially, maybe fully. Some have got partial success and some have got obviously a good result out of this. But if you look at some key indicators, we see that as per a slightly older data 2 years back, that about only 50,000 students come from different geographies outside India to study in India. It's a stark contrast by comparing that about 1.3 million students go abroad for higher education, wherein only 50,000 students approx come to India. Wherein India used to be an epicenter of knowledge given the universities like Takshashila, 𝐒𝐻𝐿, Nalanda, and so on and so forth. So there's something more we need to do about it so that India becomes an epicenter of global learning, which it was earlier as well. And then number two, moving on, this is a 60+ organization, or like HEIs I mean to say, which has adopted dual degree programs in their curriculum. So by dual degree we mean that a student gets 2 degrees, one from the home university and one from the international university. So out of the 58,000 HEIs available or functioning in our country, only 60+ HEIs have been able to provide dual degree programs, which is about less than 0.1% as well, about 0.1%. So this shows the gap in the execution of internationalization approach, be it a lack of a structured planning or be it a lack of available resources, because of which internationalization is yet to take its full swing in HEIs in India. Moving on, why internationalization is so important? Why are we making this topic as a part of this 𝐸duskills platform, which speaks of AI so much, and we're talking about IA, which is like about internationalization acceptance, because it leads to improvement in NAAC accreditations, be it domestic or let's say international accreditations like Abbott, and also at the same time it improves our rankings both nationally and internationally, be it NIRF, QS, THE. All these accreditations and rankings consider internationalization as an extremely important component. We can see the different weightages which is being given for different activities, be it international student admissions or international faculty or various research collaboration. So all of these rankings will have different weightage, which has a direct impact on the rankings. However, if we look at the indirect impact of internationalization, it goes far beyond these numbers of 10% or around about that, because once the international students comes in, it improves the peer learning. Once the international faculty comes in, it improves the teaching process, the pedagogy, the curriculum, and the combination of both these will lead to improved research collaboration. And once all this system is functioning smoothly in HEIs, it will lead to overall academic outlook, positive outlook of that HEI, and lead to institutional excellence in turn. So I would just like to share a classic example of how internationalization has helped a university called 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐭 University. I happened to meet the officials of international department just yesterday only, and I was surprised to know that although 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐭 University is very popular, it appears to be about 70th ranked in NIRF. But it is the top ranked university, private university in India as per QS and THE. I mean, you can Google and you can check that 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐭 University focusing on internationalization has turned out to be the #1 private university in India based on QS and THE as recent as 2025 rankings. So that is the kind of impact this subject can have on overall outlook of the HEIs, which will in turn lead to proper improved domestic admissions and positive outlook for the university or institute. So moving on. So based on my recent experience on dealing with so many, interacting with so many senior management from the HEIs, some of them have said that, Sumit, we don't need international students. What will we do with that? We have got enough domestic students, all our seats are full, and in fact we are coming up with new campuses. So I don't think we are in need of that. But imagine what happened to these companies. We all know classic example of Nokia, Kodak, Xerox. They were all market industry leaders when they were in their era. They were all industry leaders in their era, but they failed to adopt or adapt new trends, because of which they have now almost become out of competition. So are we saying that if Indian HEIs do not adopt internationalization, are we moving towards stagnation, or we will move towards being out of the race if we don't adopt it seriously and understanding the consequences of it? So this is a very eye-opener for us that no matter how our domestic admissions or demands are there from the regional place or from the national level, it is high time that we think global, we work global, and forget about the competition from domestic HEIs. There are international HEIs now coming to our country, placing up their offshore campus in GIFT City, in Greater Noida, in Bangalore, so on and so forth. So the scale of competition is increasing, and there are more and more international universities and institutions coming in. So if they can tap our students, why can't we tap their students? So it's time that we enlarge our playing field, and then the entire world becomes the place to be in for us. Right. So what is the role of GIP in per se? So in short, GIP is Global Immersion Program, which is nothing but an educational tool for students and faculty combined, which will give an international exposure to both the stakeholders and then help in improving internationalization. So some universities have said that Sumit, why don't we straight away go for collaborations? But fortunately or unfortunately, we have the international universities are saying that Sumit, we have got so many collaborations and MOUs with Indian HEIs, but they are lying on the table only. Not many of them have initiated activities on that. So making MOUs is not a priority for international university per se. They want to see activity on ground, for which GIP is a perfect launch pad, based on which we initiate the activity along with HEIs. The international university sees the seriousness, and then they go ahead with having collaborations, be it research collaboration, student mobility or faculty mobility, both ways. So as I said, student immersion program, faculty immersion, and then it obviously boosts the accreditation and rankings as well. Next slide please. And so I have already discussed what is GIP. It is basically a structured program designed for students and faculty. It has three major components. One is the academic workshop or the projects which the students do. Number two is the industry visit, which is a part of the entire immersion program. And third is the cultural integration. So by this, they get an overall hang of what an international community or ecosystem looks like, and whether they are capable or ready to become a global citizen or not. And third, this is a very new term we have designed, bi-directional mobility model. So far, industries have seen that Indian students going abroad for international immersion. But on my recent meeting with the senior team from AIU, Association of Indian Universities, they want international students to come to India and experience Indian education system. So when we work with you, we'll make sure that not only your students come for immersion, not only your students go for immersion in international universities, but also students from neighboring countries or developing countries experience your HEIs, and they also aspire to study in Indian ecosystem. Right. It obviously can be aligned with the current curriculum. We have got many HEIs who have made immersion as a part of their current academic curriculum or upcoming one, wherein they align this with their internship guidelines. So we have got a classic example of KEET University from Bhubaneswar, who has considered immersion program by extending it to 30 days, both on campus 15 days, wherein they go for international university visit, and when they come back, they do a self-learning assessment and they present to their concerned faculty and what were their learnings during the immersion program. So this immersion program can be translated to an internship, part of the internship program also under the academic curriculum. Then they get formal credit points as well. So we had a recent program in Technical University Berlin, wherein they awarded 3 ECTS to each student, and then they transferred the credit points to their home domestic university, which helped them to comply with their credit requirements as well. And last but not the least, it helps to enhance the transcript. That means that a student, if he adds that you have done an immersion program from an international university, it helps to build his profile. We have been speaking that how academics alone won't help enough. So immersion is one of the activity by which he can enhance his profile, stand out in front of placements, recruiters, or in the front, or if they want to go for study abroad, it also helps them to improve their application chances or admission chances rather. So the benefit of stakeholders, we have seen that it has got everything for everyone in the ecosystem, be it the students or the faculty, the HEIs in itself, or the government, because we are aligning that with the NEP 2020 guidelines, and then corporate HR. As we have heard so many HR speaking now, they want a globally ready talent pool. Maybe some of the companies have offices in different countries, so they can be easily put in that international scenario, geography, and they can quickly adapt to that culture. So these are the 3 countries wherein we generally do immersion programs. The Malaysia and Vietnam are easy to access, these are affordable ones. Universities from these countries want to have MOUs with Indian universities, so it helps us to fasten the process of internationalization. And then we have in Dubai, it's an aspirational segment. For those HEIs who have already initiated immersion programs earlier, they go for Middle East countries, wherein all the top universities from Australia, UK, US have put their off-campus over there. So that's a great learning experience as well. And then we have a Germany, which is in premium segment, which obviously is for selected students, but then they benefit tremendously by a host of other benefits available with that. So I already spoke about the two-way model. We will do both outward immersion and inward immersion as well. We want to get students from international geographies coming to our Indian HEIs and experiencing them so that they become an automatic pipeline for admissions over here. Next please. And why launch GIP at 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 Current 25? Because obviously it aligns with their goal of improving the skills through internship model. So it is internship equivalent and experiential program. It helps us to scale on a nationwide platform. And then obviously we position India as both inbound and outbound educational hub. These are our other activities apart from immersion program. We help HEIs in getting global admissions, means students from other geographies, student mobility for semester exchange, semester abroad, and virtual internship. For virtual internships, we have got partnership with Federation University Australia, where the students do virtual projects for 6 weeks, and they have got regular assessments to industry mentors and academic mentors, and they get a work readiness profile from the international university. Right, so these are some of the partners whom we are already working, at least on one of the activities or many activities per se. These are all from across the country, and we have got very positive response, because of which now we are partnering with 𝐿 also to launch this at a nationwide scale. Right, so finally summarizing, GIP is just not mobility, it is a policy-backed, credit-worthy, stakeholder-driven model. With Takshila and 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐧, Indian HEIs can scale internationally. So thank you everyone for your time. Hope it was short and impactful. Looking forward to having further interactions with you after this session.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for this session. And now I will request Mr. 𝐒𝐻𝐈 sir to facilitate